So my question is, Pearson test of English, what is a task doing in a module when it's not impacting the module, not even one score? That's really something to worry about. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Juliet from English Prep Class. Today's video is very important, especially if you're going to be writing the Pearson test of English exam soon. Let's say from the 7th of August 2025. There's certain information you need to know. You need to be armed with this information before you get into the exam hall. Now, if you've been writing PTE prior to this time and you haven't gotten your results or the score that you need, and you've already booked to write another one from the 7th of August, then this video is for you. We're going to be looking at new PTE score distribution for 2025. We know that prior to this time that PTE scoring will impact your listening and reading scores so much, meaning that it will help you pass your reading and listening modules. We also know that the listening module will help you pass the writing module and the reading module. Now, there have been major changes done to those information, and we'll be seeing the effect, or we'll be seeing it come into play from the 7th of August of 2025. Now, you can get your pen and just take down important notes that will be relevant on your PTE journey. Let's get started already. Now, the first thing I want to talk about here is the PTE read aloud. So we're going to be focusing first of all on the PTE speaking, since that is the first module that you see once you start the exam. Now, we know that PTE speaking has got 5 tasks, even after today, it's 5 tasks. Then from the 7th of August, it's going to have 7 tasks. Now, I've also done a video and I've talked about the new tasks that have been added to the PTE speaking module, which are respond to a situation and summarize group discussion. Now, we're going to be looking at the new score distribution, including those 2 new modules added to your speaking module. We're going to see if there are any other modules that they'll be impacting aside from the speaking module that they originally belong to. So the first task here will be the read aloud. Prior to this time, PTE speaking read aloud, which is the first task, would impact both your speaking module and your reading module. And it wasn't just giving the reading module little score. But now, from 7th of August of 2025, the read aloud will only be impacting your speaking module. Yeah, I think you should note that down. This is to be one of the major tasks in the PTE exam. But going forward from August 7, 2025, the read aloud will be impacting only your speaking module. It will not impact the reading module and the speaking module anymore, just the speaking module. And also the repeat sentence, which has always impacted the speaking module and the listening module, will still impact those 2 modules. All right. Then we have tasks like describe image. Well, now, just currently now, we have 3 to 4 of describe image questions in the exam. But from 7th of August, we're going to be having 5 or 6 of describe image questions in the PTE speaking exam. And that's not the only change. Do you remember there are certain criteria that the speaking task would have? We used to have content 3 marks, fluency 5 marks, pronunciation 5 marks. But from the 7th of August, describe image score the content would now be 6 marks. That means that they are trying to tell us that they'll be placing more priority on the content. So that means that if you're going to be describing the image, you're going to like fleshing out your description. It's not just going to be keywords. Maybe I see yellow, blue, black. That's no description. All right. So the content for describe image score would now be 6 marks. Prior to this time, it has always been, or currently it has always been 3 marks. But going forward, it will be 6 marks for content, 5 marks for pronunciation, and 5 marks for fluency. We also have the retail lecture. Now, we have 1 or 2 of retail lecture question in the exam, but from 7th of August, we will have 2 or 3. Again, the scoring criteria, content would now be 6 marks, while fluency and pronunciation will remain as 5 marks. This is very important. Please take note. But again, you don't have to worry because the retail lecture will still be impacting your speaking score and your listening score. And this will take me again to answer short question. We all know that answer short question is a speaking task. But the big surprise right now is that it's no longer going to be adding any score at all to your speaking module. It's going to just add all its scores to listening. So my question is, Pearson test of English, what is a task doing in a module when it's not impacting the module, not even 1 score? That's really something to worry about. Right. Then we also look at those other two new tasks, summarized group discussion. We know that the summarized group discussion is going to be impacting the speaking and the listening modules. So please note that while the response to a situation, the other new task will only impact the speaking module. So these are the 7 tasks for the speaking module. Now let's head over to the writing module. This is another big surprise here because the writing module used to have just 2 tasks, the summarized written test and write essay. And those tasks didn't used to impact the writing module a lot. In fact, writing used to depend so much, or is even still depending so much on the listening module and the reading module, especially the listening module. But from 7th of August, what's going to be happening is that the writing module would actually have good scores on its own. So let's say, for example, the first task, which is summarized written test, would have 2 questions. And now, content that used to be 2 marks, that's the scoring criteria. The first one is content, which used to only give 2 marks, would now be giving us 4 marks, which is a lot, okay? And then we also have grammar, 2 marks, vocabulary, 2 marks, and form. Form has remained 1 mark from the onset. But the most surprising thing here is 4 marks for content. Let's look at the essay. The essay prior to this time is just 1 or 2 questions, but I think they are specific now that it's just 1 question, which is really good because I don't even really like writing essays, all right? I mean, I know some of us like it, but the thing here is that the content now for essay is 6 marks. That sounds interesting, right? Coherence is 6 marks. Content is to be 3 marks prior to this time. So that's a whooping 3 more marks added to your score for content. And coherence, which was 2 marks, is now 6 marks. Then linguistic range is 6 marks. Then we still have the others as 2 marks. Oh, that's so surprising. I don't know what's happening, but that's the latest score distribution for these modules and this task I have just talked about. For the reading module, there's no really major change, but let's just look at the main task there, which is reading and writing, fill in the blanks. Now, prior to this time, it used to impact your writing module as well. But now, from 7th of August, it's just going to be adding all these scores to the reading module. That's a big surprise. Yeah. And I think that's the only big change for the reading module. Every other task there would add all their scores to reading. There's no more sharing of scores with other module. Then for the listening, the summarized spoken test used to be 1 or 2, but now they're specific. That's just going to be 1 question. Again, the scoring is funny. Content will now give you 4 marks. Content is to give 2 marks before, but now content is 4 marks. Spelling is 2 marks. I think the others too will be 2 marks as before. All right, but this greatest surprise here is for the content. I don't know why they're increasing the scores for content, but something fishy. I don't know. Let's just hope that PTE is still a go-to exam. I don't want them to make it as difficult as the IELTS because I feel IELTS is difficult. I just hope that the PTE will still be test takers' choice of exam, especially those people migrating to Australia. Okay. Now, for the listening module, listening fill in the blank used to impact both the writing and the listening. But going forward from August 7th, the fill in the blanks for listening will only be impacting the listening score. It will no longer add scores to the writing. Okay, so that means that all the scores from writing will actually come from summarized written test, write essay, summarized spoken test, and write from dictation. Yeah, write from dictation, which is a listening task, will still be impacting your writing score, and it still give more scores to writing than the listening module where it belongs. So these are they are shocking surprises if you ask me, because why would a task like answer short question be impacting just the listening module when it's actually part of the listening module and it's not adding any score to the speaking module where it belongs? That's a great shocker. And then seeing mark scoring criteria like content under the described image and retail lecture rising up to 6 points is really worth getting worried about. But not to scare you, there will always be a way. I don't know what's happening, but I believe it's all going to work out for good. Of course, we're going to try out these exams before we can actually tell you, oh, this is what you should do, or this is not what you should do. Remember to like this video. Remember to leave your comments if you have any surprising questions, and I will surely respond to you. And remember to follow us on Instagram. We'll share some good results there. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.